What is up, everyone? I'm back with another tutorial. This tutorial is going to be on that future house, Tchami, Oliver Heldens, Mr. Belt and Wezol kind of sound. I got a lot of requests to do something like this, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. So many different elements that went into making this. Well, first off, the BPM for this kind of future house is around, I'd say, maybe like 122 to 128. I have my project right now at 125. So yeah, that's one thing. I guess we'll start with the drums. That's probably going to be the easiest to explain. So this is our little drum loop we have right now. So it's very simple. It's just a kick. This kick, it's a very short kick. I took out, if we zoom in quickly here, you see, I took out a lot of the sub on the kick. I want it to be a very short kick since the sub bass down here is doing most of the sub work. We'll get to that later. We have just a sidechain trigger right here, which is, I think, the exact same kick. Yeah, just, it's muted. And we have this little loop here. It's kind of just like a shaker and a wood block pattern. This sounds like without the reverb and sidechain. And you just add the reverb and the sidechain. And with the kick, it sounds like this. It's got a nice shuffle to it. Now we have two different claps. We have this one. And then we have this pre-clap. This clap comes like slightly before the downbeats, so it gives it a little bit of a click before the kick comes in, so you can hear that. So yeah, very, very simple drums. Usually try to keep the drums kind of minimal when you're making this genre. I mean, that's just my personal preference. You can go all out with the drums if you want. If it sounds good to you, feel free. But that's what I do with this. So now, we'll get on to these sounds right here. So yeah, there's 5 different sounds here. Layering is definitely a big part in this genre. Let me just show you all the sounds I have really quickly. So we have this one. We have this one, which is kind of Gecko, Oliver Heldens inspired. We have this one. That sound is, I mean, you might recognize it from, like, that song. We have this. And then we have a sub bass. Okay, so I guess I could quickly run through how I got all these sounds. This sound is actually, I didn't make this as a preset that came with the plugin the plugin Gladiator by Tone 2. It's under the synth category, and it's the SY Sunrise MF. So if you have Gladiator, this is a pretty cool sound that you can use in your productions. And we have this one, which is that Gecko Lead. This is coming from Massive. It's 3 oscillators. We have the Grown 3, another Grown 3, and the colors. Actually, didn't make this one either. This is, usually I do make my own sounds, but I mean, I'm not really an expert when it comes to making this deep house or future house kind of sound, so I actually looked up a tutorial on how to make this Gecko Lead. So yeah, I'm sure if you just do some searching on YouTube, you could try to find some tutorials on how to make some cool sounds. That's pretty much how I learned how to produce. I just searched a bunch of tutorials. So we have that. I did just a little bit of a low cut on there. I put some reverb, compression, and some sidechain. Then we have this sound. This was from, this came with Logic. This is the organ software instrument that comes with Logic, and there was this little house bass organ preset. If you go under, if you have Logic, just go into this, go to Clean Organ Dry category, go to House Bass, and I think the only thing I changed is these click on and click off were like something like that, and I just turned them down. And then I did a bit of a high cut at 102 hertz, not a high cut, a low cut, and the high cut's at 780 hertz. So that's what we have. We have some reverb and some sidechain. This sound, well, if we take off all the processing, this is a sound I put into the EXS24. It was originally from an analog synthesizer, that sample that I found online. So basically I just did some low cut and high cut. We did a sample delay to widen the stereo, so without it and with it. Compression, reverb, and this compressors for sidechain. So, and then last but not least, we have this sub bass, which is really just a sine wave. That's the initial sound from Logic's EXS24, but you can get a sine wave in anything. We put some distortion on it. It gave it more of timbre and tone. So that's what it sounds like with just the distortion on it. And we put some compression, some reverb. We have this sidechain, the Nicky Romero Kickstart plugin. And then we did a low cut and a bass boost. And when I say that the distortion is kind of important, because if you take off the distortion, it's just one plain sine wave, and I like this a little bit better. It gives the bass more timbre, tone to it. So yeah, so that's all the sounds. So I'll play them all together once again. Okay, so as far as the notes go, it's just something I was just kind of made up while I was just playing around. So just play around. If you don't play piano, just play around in your piano roll and just try to put something together that you like. What I did is I actually put the notes on a bit of a shuffle. So instead of just straight up 16th notes, it's 1/24th notes. So instead of sounding like this, it's got a bit of like a shuffle to it, like this. So it's a slight difference, but it's also a big difference at the same time. So yeah, so with the melody, just play around in your piano roll, or just play something on your MIDI keyboard till you come up with a melody that you like. And yeah, just keep working at your track, and eventually you'll come up with a whole track. I don't plan on finishing this. This was just probably for the purpose of the tutorial, but regardless, I hope you found this tutorial interesting and useful at the same time. Feel free to leave any more requests on something you want to see, because you know, even like dubstep, for instance. Like, I always like to experiment with different genres and like make stuff in tutorials, even though they might not be my area of expertise. But just let me know if you want to see something. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next tutorial. Goodbye.